This is Father Fish. And I'm back with you in a new and exciting format. Well, hello. I don't have quite the same background. Actually, it's the identical same background. I just don't quite have the lighting right, I guess. It is what it is. I'm here by myself tonight. Hey, Cinnamon Girl, happy to see you. We haven't talked in so long. Nice to see you. Yeah, we have a new editor who's a young man in South Africa, in one of the roughest parts of South Africa, but he seems to want to be there. He and his wife are there. They don't have children, I don't believe. Young man, late 20s, doing some more hard hitting kind of stuff that I'm not used to. We're blanking in and out here a little bit. Oh, wonderful! It'd be great to see you. Get together with me and see if you can bring some stuff down. There are so many really good fish people up there where you are. I really would like to be able to support the fish because I could use some really nice fish. I got I got fish from you that I'm still excited about. The shell dwellers are now in their own tank in a big 40-gallon, and you're going to love it. And the Julies are in a 70, no, a 60-gallon tank by themselves, and they're enjoying that. We're hoping to start seeing babies with the Julies soon. And I finally got some really, really nice rams. I'm not going to be able to start shipping them until March. I'm just worried about the weather. It's too cold, and too difficult to try to ship in really cold weather. Who's this? Gwen Schmidt is here. Hi, Gwen. Think about how to keep the water safe for my fish as a beginner. Well, watch some videos. We got all the secrets, and they're there with. They watch the beginner group. There's a group of I don't know how many, a whole bunch of beginner videos. It'll give you a really good head start, and then join us on the show. Cinnamon's over there. Lots of people are there. It's a great opportunity to get to know people, to talk to people, to become. It's kind of a club online where you can share things. You can get answers to questions, get problems solved. You can brag and make friends. It's just a wonderful opportunity. Let's see, N4279 hornwort keeps dying from collecting detritus on the leaves. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know how that happens. That's not what's killing it, though. Um, there's something else going on in there. It's a detritus trap, is hornwort. And no matter what the tank is, it does. That's really what it does. But it feeds on it. So it's not that it's killing it. That's not the problem because it collects it in order to be able to feed on it. Uh, do me a favor, N4279, jump onto the show and talk to some folks about it. We need to take a deeper look at that. There's something else going on in your tank that, it, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get you going in a direction that'll be that'll be a waste of time because I don't know. I don't know your tank and I don't know what's going on in it. Clearly, you need a deeper look, and that's what we can help you achieve is a deeper look. What else? Self puncher. Thank you, Elf. Nice to be here. And who else is here? Thomas Scott Cannon. Dropping enough banana peeling in my tank gonna kill my fish. No, it won't, but it might be too much nutrient. Um, if it's a big banana peel in a little tank, I wouldn't do it. A small piece would be adequate. It'll create bacteria, which fish and shrimp love. The fungus that it's not bacteria, it's fungus, grows on things like banana peel, but use a very small amount. You don't want to overload it because you could simply pollute your tank doing that. Too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing, after all. So yeah, use it, but use it sparingly, a little bit of time, and then observe it. See what it's doing. I think you'll be pleased, really. If you have shrimp, it's a great food for shrimp. Rinse mine in tank water to get any dirt off if it gets too much. Cinnamon girl. Yeah, I do that too. I take it out and kind of rinse it out. It gets it does help clean the water, you know. It's just kind of amazing stuff. And it grows like a weed normally. So if it's not growing, then you got something else going on. I am not going to be jumping over to YouTube tonight and I think Thomas and I might do that anyway, just to get you guys some wrenches. Let me see if I can do it without creating chaos. We're going to have to cut the volume off on it. Let's see. And let me get down to the chat. Where's the chat? Here it is. Okay. Gwen, yeah, get you a wrench. We'll get some wrenches passed out here. Gwen, and there was somebody else. Hi, Adam. Adam is here. Happy to see Adam. My good buddy, Adam. I guess Gwen was the only. She's the only one I've got so far. Oh yeah, we did a video. Released it today. That is some clips from a video that Adam and I did here. I think last week or the week before. I don't remember. 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. Leonard Skinner. Will more plants stop swamp odor? My wife can't stand the swamp odor. Plants keep melting. There should not be an odor. If there is an odor, you've got too much. It's again too much of a good thing. You've got too much breaking down. I had another at the 95-gallon. Add an inch of sand. Put an inch of sand right on top of what you got. That will help control that odor. It'll go a long way toward controlling the odor. And then I don't know what fish you've got in there, but you're going to need to probably get a lot more plants in it. If you think you need more plants, you do. Between the two, that ought to resolve the issue. And then watch your feeding. Make sure you're not overfeeding. If you got a lot of big fish in there, it's easy to do. So kind of control that if you can. And again, jump on over to Discord so we can take a look at your tank. It'll be a chance for you to be able to post it there and give us all a chance to look at it and kind of help you out with it if you got an issue. I think adding more sand and more plants though is going to go a long way toward help that. There should not be an odor. There should not be any kind of odor. If there's a swamp odor, that means it's producing gas, which is a function of excess nutrients that are breaking down at a faster rate than they can be adequately and appropriately consumed. Um, and an easy solution for that is sand. Secondary solution is plants that take up extra nutrients. And then the third, of course, is to control feeding. So you're not getting a lot of waste in the tank. Ian Davis, I am doing well, Ian. Thank you so much. I'm feeling better than I have in a long time. Um, I haven't learned yet how to be old. That's a real problem for me because I want to be 45 again or 35 or 60 even. You know, I want to be out doing things that I have a hard time doing. And it's mostly for me it's mostly my legs. And I'm not a really good patient. I do take all my meds. I'm faithful about meds. And I'm on so many meds. I'm convinced I'm just a pharmaceutical on legs. But they're keeping me going. And the latest bit of surgery I had included installing a brand new pacemaker. I had one for about 10 years, and my heart depends on it totally. I mean, my heart won't beat normally without it. So, but what was happening? It was only triggering one side of the heart, and the other was getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and it got down to about 25%. So and I was having trouble, a lot of trouble. So they took a look at that, figured out what was wrong, put a brand new, the doctor called it the Cadillac of pacemakers. And I'll tell you, frankly, it feels like it. So put that in, and immediately I felt better because both sides of the heart are pumping now. And the studies that we've done since then are showing that that weak side of the heart is gaining strength. It ain't a lot, but I'm not a lot. I mean, I'm not getting a lot of strength, but it's better, and I'm feeling better. My energy is back. It is absolutely. I can walk around all day without being exhausted, and that's such a big deal because for a long time I couldn't do that. I was stuck in a chair. I get up and I'm gasping for air. I don't do that at all anymore. So that's a big deal for me. Anyway, thank you for asking. Doing well. Let's see. Wayne Beam has a 2 month old 46. So not doing water change. Everything fine. Concerned with no water change. So try it and see. You'll know. If the water starts getting yellow, the fish start getting sluggish, you'll know when you need to do a water change. It's not that you never do them, you do them. You do water changes, but you do them when they need to be done. And it becomes, if you're watching your tank and studying it carefully, it's pretty obvious when you need a water change. You start getting an algae buildup, maybe. It starts looking kind of funky. Um, the fish are changing their behavior, getting maybe sluggish or whatever. Do a water change, do like 10%, and then you can do that the next day. You can do that days in a row without creating any kind of stress on the fish. What you don't want to do is a 40, 50% water change going in first time, unless there's a critical reason to do it. And the reason, of course, is that it puts stress on the fish, which you don't need to do. Plus, you're going to likely have a temperature fluctuation. We do right now because we don't have hot water. We have cold water. I've got a little light here that I have delicately perched on top of my tank, and everything's falling. All right. What else we got here? Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Water is crystal clear. Excellent. I have a question. My water is turning brown. Don't have any wood or leaves. Water doesn't smell bad and fish are okay. Do a water change. Just do a 10% water change. Sometimes that's all that's needed. It's a matter of changing the biological balance in the water. If the water is turning brown, that means it's probably getting yellow. It's called old water. I know fish keepers who will only keep their fish in old water. They want it to be brown or yellow, more to the point. It's not, I don't like it personally. I don't like yellow water particularly. I mean, there are times when I do it when I've got fish that are, well, like angelfish, for example. Angelfish remarkably prefer funky old water. The funkier, the better. Now, by funky, I don't mean bad, I don't mean foul. I mean like an old man or an old woman. Funky. They like it like that. All right. What else is going on here? Okay. Let me see. Let me get over and get Susie a wrench. Let me see what else is going on here. Do. You buy what? Okay. Leonard Skinner. Let's see if we can get Leonard a wrench here. Whew. All right. Am I caught up? I think I'm caught up. Yes, I'm caught up. All right. Let me get back over. Let me get back over and StreamYard so I can look at myself and read the chat at the same time. I have some amazing wild bettas from India. Wow. From Indonesia. That's exciting. I've never had a like a pair of wild bettas or of any of the off-brand bettas, if you will. That's pretty exciting. I hope they breed for you. If they do, I definitely want to get some young from you. That's exciting. Provided I age water for 48 hours, water changes are fairly well. That's true. That's true. It you get it well oxygenated. Water coming out of the tap doesn't have oxygen in it. It's important to understand that. So you're putting water in the tank that is not oxygenated, and if you're doing big water changes, it doesn't it picks up oxygen very quickly, but it puts stress on the fish. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so. Thank you, Ian. All right. I have about 10 pairs. Wow. Well, bring some with you, please. I'll be very excited to get those. And again, I've got some really nice rams, so maybe we can do some burger. One of the reasons I wanted to come on by myself tonight, and I didn't really have a chance to talk to Dean, which was unfair of me because he probably was waiting. I want to get into something that I have a hard time talking about. And it's not that it's sensitive, it's that it's difficult. It's kind of complicated. It's what I've been struggling with, frankly, for the last 6 months or so. I've reached the point with my YouTube channel where I felt like I said everything I had to say 100 times over. And I frankly couldn't think of another way to say it. And I started trying to because I couldn't think of anything else to do. And it just, when people were bored hearing it, you said that. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, yeah, what else you got to say? Well, here it is. And it goes back to a friend of mine. His name was Dick Esslinger. He became a professor at a seminary, Asbury, I think, seminary in wherever Asbury is, South Carolina, North Carolina, I think. Taught preaching. They taught preaching, which I found was interesting. He and I were best friends in high school. And we shared a lot of the same interests. And one of those interests was tropical fish, not just fish, but snakes and turtles and all of that stuff. We had all those things. And he asked me a question once. He said, "Luke, why are we so fascinated with this? What is it about it?" And the question stuck with me, and has stuck with me my whole life. And I have thought about it. I've struggled to answer it. I've had all kinds of perspectives on it, but something has begun to come into my awareness and understanding that I really want to be able to share because I think it's basic. One of the a way to get at it is this: what is it about sitting in front of your aquarium that makes you feel relaxed and happy and like all your cares are melted away? What is it that causes that experience? It's not a sensation, it's a genuine experience. What is it? I have a theory, and it's not one I've ever heard anywhere. So this is brand new, at least for you, for me. Maybe you've heard it before. I believe it's because when we have an aquarium that gives us real joy, the joy is in seeing healthy animals, healthy plants, a healthy environment, something that's alive and thriving, not just something pretty that's kind of two dimensional, but something that has depth to it, that has quality to it, something that animals are thriving and growing in. And here's the thing about that: what that does is give us a window on the real world and the sense in which we are comfortable in and at one with the real world. I think that's what we search for our whole lives, to feel comfortable in our skin and in the world, to not have stress, to understand, and to be able to negotiate life in a way that's in a way that gives us joy, in a way that's pleasurable, in a way that allows us to feel whole and healthy. Now you think about it, every bit of conflict that's ever come into your life has been a result of you not being able to phase properly, if you will, with life, with reality, with nature, with the world. So that little fish tank, sitting in front of that little fish tank, the peace that we derive from it is an acknowledgement. It's a recognition. It's a contact. It's a communication. It's a sharing. It allows something to get inside of us that gives us peace, that gives us satisfaction, gives us joy, gives us confidence, gives us a sense that we understand. Now I'm a preacher. I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, but I'm also a preacher. And that's been a key to everything I've done here. Because the source of the aquarium, the source of the joy of fish keeping for me is the sense of wonder, the sense of serenity, the sense of unity, the sense of belonging to creation, belonging to the world that God has created, and being a whole and healthy and dynamic part of that. And I honestly believe that's what our experience with a natural aquarium gives us, because it allows us to share in the fundamentals of creation, to see it, to understand it, to allow it to be, to allow it to enter into us, and for us to enter into it, to feel as though, yes, this is who I am. This is who I can be in the real world. I can be this person of peace, of joy, of inspiration, of integrity, of confidence, because I can see that. I can see that in this little fish tank. And I know that that is what nature is. That's precisely what nature is. Nature is it's a balance of healthfulness. It's a balance of a whole variety of things living together in relative harmony. Now they eat each other, and we do eat each other. I mean, we eat each other. We eat whatever we eat. We eat carrots and we eat beef, and both of them are living things. So, you know, the fact that we're killing to survive is a function of the real world. But there are acts of violence in that we abhor, that we do not want, that we do not cherish, that bring conflict into our lives, that bring terror and horror into our lives, that bring pain into our lives, that are not the way we want to be in the world. So we struggle with those, but if we can grasp the fundamental wholeness and the fundamental balance that we can see in that aquarium, it gives us a clearer understanding of what reality really is. And that these acts of violence, these terrible things that go on, are aberrations. They're not the nature of things, they are the unnature, they are unnatural. They are unnatural, and making them determining that they're unnatural doesn't keep them from happening, but it lets us know where we stand in relationship to them. That we can stand on one side of that and say about that, that's not what I want in the world. Now, we take this, let me jump over here a little bit. Do cichlids need special water? No. Nobody needs special. I don't know what special water is. Water is what comes out of your tap. That's special. Your water is special. Don't try to create special water. You'll confuse the fish. They don't need special water. They need what you've got. And if they can't live in it, well, you could struggle with that a while if it's a fish you really want. But generally speaking, you're better off not trying to keep something alive in your tank like a beluga whale that you're really not prepared to deal with. You got to kill it to grill it. Well, yeah, right. That's right. If providing it provided, of course, that it's an appropriate creature to grill. And that's where that's where having a clear sense of balance and harmony becomes so important. We're experiencing in our world right now, today, changes that hold the promise of greater peace, and greater stability than the world has known in many, many, many eons. Now, it may well fail. Human beings have been known to fail. But I believe if people of goodwill pull together and stand together and really stand together and not try to beat each other up because of the way they blink their eyes or the way they waggle their tongues when they talk. If we can get past our differences in style and get to the heart of who we are, then I believe we can not only work together, we really can build the world that we all would like to live in. So a lot going on right now that's struggling to get there. And we need to be part of that. We need to be as much a part of that as we possibly can be. And we can use our experience with our aquariums to know how to stand, where to stand, to know how to feel about it, what to think about it, to know what's real and what's not, to know what's good and what's not, to know what maintains stability and strength and what breaks it down and tears it up. And we can take stands on it. We can take strong positions and come up against elements of chaos, because there are elements of chaos promulgated, some by people who are very clear that they are people of chaos, but far more, I think, by people who really don't have a clue what they're talking about, who are just brainwashed. They have listened to voices of anger and rage and frustration for so long. They've allowed themselves to become captive to it. We need to find ways to reach those people with the message of joy, a message of peace, a message that says you don't have to be bitter and angry and frustrated and hostile. You don't. It's not doing you any good. It's certainly not doing anybody else any good. And if that's the way you want the world to be, then you've got a more serious problem than you think. I don't believe they do. I don't believe they want the world to be that way, but I don't believe they understand how to make it better. I think all they know how to do is get angry and be in conflict and be bitter and, you know, sell their souls to the devil. Binge watching his videos, take it as much as they can. It's the only way to go, Handcraft. It really is. Nice to see you here. Maybe repeating yourself, at least to give it. You're helping new people your ideas, helping a lot of people. Let's keep answering questions. Thank you for that. I think the reason I'm struggling, and I am struggling, is, and I guess it's got as much to do with their economy as anything. I've extended myself to the point where I'm struggling to keep my boat afloat. I take a different approach to business than I think many people do, and I think it's because of the nature of how I do business. I've had businesses most of my life. Never gotten rich doing it. although the potential was always there to do that. And I frankly chose not to. And now it's another time, just, I'm doing it again. I would rather be surrounded by people I'm working with who are as committed to building whatever it is we're trying to build than I would to go it alone. I don't have a partner. I mean, I don't have a wife. I don't have someone alongside me who's doing this with me. I'm doing it alone. And maybe that's part of the reason I really don't want to do it alone. And I really do appreciate having other people involved. I'm also lazy and stupid. I need the expertise of others who can do things I can't do, and I need the energy of those who can do more than I can do to do what I want to do. The difficulty is that creates a payroll, a funny thing called a payroll that people become dependent upon. I'm dependent upon my retirement income. All of the money I take in goes out. It's like here and gone, like that. There was a point where I was able to save a little, and I got a car, and I got a boat, and so I got a nice car, and I got a boat that's it's okay. It's not great boat, but it's okay. I didn't get out in it once last year, not one time. So I'm going to change that this year. I'm feeling better so far. I finally decided to buy ice. Our refrigerator has an ice maker. It's not hooked up. So I decided to start buying ice. So I'm now putting ice in my drinks, which I really like. Anyway, so income is, I don't know whether income is down. It's down about 25%, maybe 30%, about a third. So I'm holding on, but I got bills piling up that I need to find a way to deal with. They ain't the little bills that are the problem; it's the big ones. So I'm just trying to find ways to increase and strengthen the business. Trying to find ways to cut corners. Um, doing what everybody else is doing, I guess, and struggling with it in the process. Plus, we have a woman who is very dear and precious to us, who's on staff, who is struggling with breast cancer. She's in stage 2, and she's been on chemo for 4 months, and it's not getting better. And it's causing her any kind of financial stability. It's enormously expensive to do that. $1,000 a week. $1,000 a week for therapy. And if you don't have the thousand, you don't get the therapy. I mean, it's an absolute obscenity, and the therapy she's getting is an absolute obscenity. So I'm pretty distraught about that. She's not improving. She's stressed out more and more. It's a young woman with little children, for God's sake. And the medical establishment can't do better than jam her full of poison as a way of trying to kill the cancer before they kill the rest of her. And that's literally and absolutely what the therapy is. Literally and absolutely. There's no attempt to create health. They're just trying to create a semi-death. And it's not working. It's not controlling the cancer. So prayers for Megan. All right, Indiana, Anita Head. Can you give me a list of schooling fish I won't eat plants or 75-gallon aquarium. Scolding fish. Let me tell you about scolding fish. In an aquarium, there's no such thing. Doesn't exist. A school of fish in nature contains a minimum of probably 1,000 fish, and more commonly 10,000 fish. A school of fish is not a few fish swimming together. That's not a school of fish. A school of fish is a large acre wide or many yards wide group of the same species and age of fish that are swimming together in a large enough body that the bulk of them are kept safe by the actions of the school itself. Not all of them are kept safe. There is a sacrifice that occurs in a school of fish that is a function of its effectiveness. In other words, if there are 100,000 little fish that have been spawned in a spawn and they begin swimming together, they will begin swimming together in this large mass. Now, they're tiny little fish, so they don't take up much space, but there are huge numbers of them. And the members of the school are constantly moving. Well, they're not really moving to the outside, they're moving to the inside. The ones in the center are moving to the outside, and the ones on the outside are coming into the center. So there's this constant flow in every direction of the fish as they swim. It looks like they're one fish swimming, but they're intermingling all the time. And the ones on the outside are coming in for protection. They're out there for a very short period of time because that's where the danger is. That's where they're going to get eaten, and it's the ones on the outside that get eaten. So they take a risk for a while, but most of the time they're safe. 10% of the time they're not. 90% of the time they are. They're so they're playing the odds, if you will, in that school, and that's what a school of fish is. A few fish swimming together in a tank does not comprise a school of fish. And frankly, if you've got 20 or 30 fish in a 10-gallon tank, and you should have 20 or 30 fish in a 10-gallon tank, unless you're trying to breed a pair of rams or have some special fish in it. But if you're trying to create a community in a 10, there should be at least 20 fish in there, not 1 inch per gallon. There should be, I've had as many as 100, probably more. Very, very small fish in a 10-gallon tank, perfectly happy, perfectly healthy, not having any difficulties with the space they're in at all. So at least 20 fish. And they're going to be swimming around. In a very large tank, a group of fish may hang together. Pairs will usually hang together. Species will usually hang together. Even like big cichlids will tend to hang together. I have a big African cichlid tank of Malawi, kind of it's a hybrid Malawi. It's got Tanganyika in it and a few South Americans, but mostly it's Malawis. And they tend to hang by species. Not absolutely, but the individual species are making contact with each other in that tank routinely. it's more interesting seeing how the fish you put in are getting along than it is trying to create a school, trying to create this little group of fish that swims together all the time. The zebra danios, any of the danios, are swimming all the time, and they'll tend to keep up with each other. They'll tend to swim as a group. So danio is a great fish to have as a so-called schooling fish in a tank because they're on the move all the time. There are other fish like that are just, but the danios especially, and they're all sizes of them, big ones, little ones. Rainbows are another one. Rainbows don't hang together so much by color, but they are on the move all the time. They're not a stationary fish. So what you're really looking for is fish that are moving all the time, swimming around, not fish that are lurking. Like bettas lurk. Bettas don't swim in schools. They never do. They're lurkers. They're independent. You may have a harem of them in a tank, but they're not particularly interacting with each other. They're all kind of doing their own thing. Bettas are loners. Even when they're in a group, they're loners. Angels are more sedentary. They're kind of a stationary fish. They move around some, but they mostly are just kind of hanging there looking pretty. Look how beautiful I am. Look at my shining, look at my shining convex scales, how they glitter. They're showing off all the time. So they could care less about being in the school. They want to stand out for who they are. Discos are much the same way. Tetras are a mixed bag. There's every kind of tetra imaginable, including those that eat each other. There are tiny tetras, big tetras, mean tetras, ugly tetras, pretty tetras. There are no two tetras. I'll tell you the ones I like, probably the best are the green tetras. And they're all wild caught. Nobody's raising them. It's a population of fish that were not caught for decades because they just don't have quite the color. But boy, they're the healthiest fish I think I've ever had, at least among tetras. They just hold up. They're like rocks. They're nice. Try what you like. Probably the most interesting and fun fish you can have in an aquarium are light bearers. They're on the move all the time, particularly guppies. I mean, my word, guppies and platies and mollies, but guppies and platies. Guppies, especially, are just the busiest, prettiest, most engaging fish you can probably have in a fish tank. And it's because the males are such little buggers and they're so pretty doing it. Just enjoy what you can get and note the differences. Here's the problem. I have a couple of videos I did years ago. One about a woman who came in the shop who didn't want snails. She was done with snails. And I did a video, I did a short on that. And it absolutely went viral. I think I got close to a million, I don't know how many, a million views, more. I got 100,000 subscribers on that video. There were two of them at the time. And then I did another one about a woman who came in with a molly. And she was so upset. She didn't want this molly anymore. And she was in tears, sweet little old lady, in tears because her molly was so mean. It was chasing everything all the time. Never nipped anything. There was never a nip fin, never a problem. But it saddened her to see how rapacious he was. I took her Molly back. The lady with the snails, I told her to go to PetSmart and buy something to kill the snails. I wasn't going to have anything to do with it. You have to be able to enjoy what's going on in your tank. Now, that doesn't mean if you get somebody is tearing another fish up, you want to leave them alone to do it and just take a thrill in it. Doesn't mean that at all. That's incompatibility, and you need to separate those. See, in the wild, that doesn't happen. In the wild, they can escape from each other. I've got a tank, 125-gallon, 4-foot tank. It's tall and deep that has a huge growth of plants in it. It's Vallisneria. It's thick with Vallisneria, and it has Malawi cichlids in it, of all things. One of the most aggressive fish to keep in a community. Right now, there are probably 40 to 50 adult sized fish in there and hundreds of baby fish. Literally hundreds of baby fish. Nobody's getting beat up. There's no aggression. And the reason is that one fish is chasing another one. It can find a place to hide where it can be safe for days and nobody's going to come near it. It can get down in that grass and just be alone. I don't know how many fish I'd have to be in there to break that down. There would be a point where it would break down. I'm not close to that, I don't believe. Now, they do chew the plants up. I take out a handful of plants every day, but they're growing faster than they're being chewed up. So they're not getting ahead of the game. They're not, they're not whittling it down. It's continuing to thrive. It's a very, very strong, stable substrate in there. And the fact that the babies are not getting special food and they're growing fast and thriving means there's a lot of microfauna down in that bottom of that tank that they're feeding on that the big fish can't get to. So it's really a remarkable tank. And it happened, here you go. It happened all by itself. I had it set up when I first moved in as a brackish tank with all kinds of things I brought in from the bay, and it was spectacular. In fact, I was bringing coral fish in it that were doing really well. And then the pump crapped out overnight and everything died and fell. There was so much biology in there, it couldn't sustain itself without continuously moving water. I really overdid it. I had a huge clam mass. It wasn't clams, it was minnows, I guess. Huge. It was that big that I pulled off the side of a bank and ensconced in there. It was massive, way too big. And when they started dying from lack of oxygen because the pumps quit, it just crashed everything. So I dumped it, cleaned it out, started over, didn't change the substrate, left it in there, dropped the water level down because it was all brackish water I'd brought in. 100 gallons of brackish water I brought in. Got rid of that, most of it, filled it back up, stuck some Vallisneria in their jungle val mostly, and started putting Africans in it actually right away, I think. Had a lot of rocks in it at first. Found that as the plants were growing, the rocks became impossible to catch fish. I was constantly taking the rocks out to try to get fish for people, and finally did away with nearly all. There are one or two still in there, not many, and they're not really in the way. But it's been an amazing tank following that and watching it and seeing how it has stabilized to the benefit of the animals living in it. I feed them fairly heavily. They get fed at least twice a day. Brenda feeds in the morning, and then I'll go by and throw feed in with them. And basically, what they're eating right now is is their new Nutripreta, the cold flake food. That is an amazing product. Amazing product. I was watching a dog rescue show recently, and they were advertising a dog food called Sundays. It's a very, very expensive, very high quality food that is cold dried. Same process exactly. The benefit of that is that most dog food, most fish food is baked in a high heat to drive all the moisture out so it'll keep. The problem with that is it drives all the nutrients out of it as well. All the fatty acids are gone out of it. All of the nutritional benefits are burned off. It, it's it's like eating raw flour. I don't know what it's like eating. It's like eating bark. It has no food value beyond its basic its basic elemental nutritional value. But by not doing that, by processing it in a cold temperature where it can dry out just enough to be able to keep it, and it's best to keep it refrigerated. It'll last indefinitely. If you sit it on the shelf, it's going to go bad in 3 to 6 months, depending on the humidity of where it is and the how well you have it closed in and how much moisture is in there. But I keep it refrigerated. Actually, I don't. I have a container I dip out from a big bag of it in the fridge, and I feed that out. Usually that's gone in 2 days, maybe 3 days. I'll feed that out and then go back and get some more. But the fish are, they absolutely get excited about it. All of the fish, every fish I've fed it to, they don't know what it is at first. They're, hello, what is this? Looking at it, tasting it. It's, I don't, it even smells good. I mean, it smells like raw shrimp or something. That's really what there are a couple of formulas. We have a shrimp and garlic formula that's our most popular, and then we have one that contains foods that enhance color, like carotene, carrots, other kinds of algae, and and growth has growth products in it. A lot of protein has protein and vegetables in it, algae and shrimp basically. And they do a really good job of promoting growth, particularly with small fish. Now, typically, when you feed this stuff, you crumble it up for baby fish. I found Brenda was crumbling it up. I said, "Stop doing that. This is a very soft food. You put it in water, and it's like it's like it's like baked like mashed potatoes. I mean, it's very soft. The fish peck at it. They are able to kind of break it up. Even the baby fish, they eat this big flake will go in there like that, and they'll just pecking away at it and getting mouths full each time. Flake food doesn't do that. They have to kind of fight with it. This stuff, it's like it's amazing. It's just a phenomenal food. We sell it in our store. And I really want to get people into it because you get hooked on it. There just is not anything better to feed your fish. It's the next best thing to live food. The only thing better is live food, and it's as close to live food as you can get without being live food. So aqua preta, I mean Nutripreta, Nutripreta, the cold flake. Two formulas are available now. We will have more as we begin getting more of this product in the flow. But do get some. It's you'll be excited about it. Cinnamon, when you come down, I'm going to trade you for some of this food. You're going to love it. I had a bunch of it at the Keystone Clash. I had about 60 containers of it, and it all went. just sold it all or traded it all with people for fish. It was just real nice. By the way, Cinnamon, but while I've got you, I bought. There was a guy there that had a great big pirate ship, huge big model pirate ship, and I bought it. And I left it sitting on the table and never got back to it. Tried to find out what happened. I'm sure it's long gone, but if you ever hear about the pirate ship, it's mine. I bought it. And I'd love to have it. I was so disappointed that I forgot about it. I was busy walking around doing other things. It was the end of the day. People were packing up. I was packing up. It's kind of the last thing I did. And it just got lost in the shuffle. Mermaids Chorus. Hello, Mermaids Chorus. Delighted to see you. I met Mermaids Chorus at at the Clash. What a delightful woman. What an absolutely delightful woman. I was I was starry-eyed seeing her. She was like a fairy princess, just absolutely delightful. And she made a drawing of Father Fish. I don't have it home with me. I've got it at the shop. Uh, I'll have to I'll have to show it to you. It's amazing. It's just really delightful. Nice to see you, Mermaid Scores. Oh, let's see. Good. Thank you, Garner. Nice to see you. Fish. Yes, fish. Let me get over and see if I can give out a few more wrenches. Leonard Skinner needs a wrench. Oh, he has one. Remove the standard motor. It just hadn't. Well, more plant stops. Oh, yeah, the swamp odor thing. We did that right. What else is here? Jenna P. Jenna P. Thank you, Cinnamon. It was a wonderful old man who had stuff he had obviously collected his whole life, just a whole bunch of junk. And some of it was just so cool. I got a few things, and then at the end, I made a deal for him with that. Anita Head, honeycomb pleco. The same way you breed any plecos, I guess. I don't know a lot about breeding plecos. I do caves, and that seems to work with all that I've tried. That's basically what they do. They do caves. Strange hallucinations. Minnow's voice to text. I know it is cute, isn't it? I'll tell you frankly, that's how what's his name? Tanked built to 200 to 2 million subscribers in 3 months. Talking fish. That's how he did it. It was cute. Too cute for words. Let's see. White Cloud Mountain Minnows. Great new fish. Great fish. White clouds are so easy to keep. They're busy and active. Just another Danio. Let's see. Ryan Williams. Let's see if, yeah, I can add him. What else we got here? Got them all. All right. Handcrafted. Some people like living in conflict. I don't think they like it so much, really. I think they believe it's the only way they can survive. All right. Anita Head from India. Nice to have you here, Anita. And while we're on the subject, prayers for the Persians of Iran, that they may be free from their oppressors. And if you're not on board with that, you need to get on board with that because that is pure godly. Their struggle is against consummate evil. And there is no other way to describe what that regime has done to those people. It is consummate evil. Very well. We have hit an hour. We've been here an hour. I guess I've done what I can do, done all the damage I can do in one night. Nice to be with you guys. Let's see. I think if maybe see if I can find. See if I can find a what is this? Welcome to Father Fish and the Natural Aquarium. That's sweet. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys. Love you all. I'll try to get up here more often. I think I need to do it. And I think I need to do it like this. I've had a good time tonight. I hope you have too. Bless you. And we'll see you at least next Thursday. I might do something else too. I've got another channel called Lou Fox. Well, I've been considering that, but I think this is okay. I think I can. What I did tonight is what I've been wanting to do, and I think I can do that within the context of the fish fam. I think it's appropriate, and I think it's good. I like it. There are those who won't. That's their problem. I'm happy to talk to them, but I won't be abused. Can I just? There we go. All right. Good night, all. Love you. Bye for now.